And we are live on the SideQuest live edition, which is what all of them are. They are all live editions. I don't even know why I say that anymore, but it is the wonderful team SideQuesting joining you on this beautiful, beautiful Friday evening to talk about video games, wrestling, the Snyder cut, whatever we talk about. Lots of fun stuff. It's been a fun week, but I am one of your hosts, Dolly Domofsky, at Dolly Domofsky everywhere. You can find me on Clubhouse at Dolly Domofsky. Hey, Stephen here as well. And the one, the only, the _double_J, JJ Holder.
Well, I changed my name on the screen, so it's that.
That's a great idea. I should probably do that too. Yeah, it might be easier to do that next time.
Yeah,
How you been, sir?
JJ wouldn't suffice at all because I don't have the beard anymore. So
yeah, that's true. You look. I gotta say, you look very different. You look so much younger without that beard.
Yeah,
you like reverted back to like a 14-year-old somehow.
Hey, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it is what it is. But
that's cool. Yeah,
it's already starting to grow back in. So, yeah.
And I'm already jealous at how quickly yours is growing back in. And it's just this nice evenness. And mine is just like a little bit here, a little bit there.
Yeah. It took a while for it to not be patchy anymore, but now it's a perfect beard. I just let it go crazy sometimes.
That's awesome. Yeah, I guess you have to let it kind of grow out often so that it wears your face in. Very cool. Yeah. All right, good. Well, this is not the beard show.
No.
Stefan says his grows back fast too. This is not the beard show. It is the SideQuesting show.
That's a different YouTube channel. You got the
way different. That's Corey's channel. But we're going to talk about video games, video game happenings, because there's a lot of there's some stuff happened this week. Some of the stuff we've been playing. And as usual, we start with news, and I'm looking up news right now. It's been a weird week for news. So I'll hit on a couple subjects here. Do you have anything that you want to jump in, or should I just go ahead and start with?
You just go in, because I have no idea what the hell's gone on this week, other than a couple of things.
Yeah, there's been some weird stuff. We mentioned, I think last week, we talked about Sony and some of the other companies. Xbox kind of going back and forth buying a bunch of stuff. Playland's here. Stefan says he's a Harry Potter facial hair. Yet another salvo was fired this week as Microsoft is in talks to buy Discord. Apparently, they are the front runner right now.
Well, they need Discord, something, I guess.
They need some. It's such a this indie company, Microsoft. But that's wild. I think it started with Bloomberg. I know the folks at VentureBeat kind of covered that Discord was potentially looking to sell, to be bought out, or to go public. It's more angling now towards being bought. And over the last couple days, it looks like Microsoft is the front runner. I think Wall Street or Washington Post, I believe it was, or maybe it was Wall Street Journal, posted that I think today or yesterday. So. Just another way that they are another salvo keeps getting fired back and forth. The companies want
just another thing to fold into the Xbox brand.
It's insane. Xbox brand, or is it going to be built with Microsoft Teams?
Yeah.
It's weird though, because I made that stupid joke of like, hey, you're gonna get the email that says we're part of Teams now, as I've already seen like 3 times. Yes, Stefan, we are really going to be, hey, you know what? Bill Gates, Phil Spencer, whoever, just, we're okay. Take us. That's fine. Buy us. I'm all right with that. We'll live. I got to buy a pool. JJ's got to buy a beard. I don't know. I mean, whatever. He's got to buy
Yeah. Listen, the beard oil subscriptions cost a lot of money.
It's true. Yeah. I was gonna say you gotta get a street named after you in Disneyland. So
yes, I think I could buy my way into a window on Main Street. I think.
Nice, excellent. Yeah, we're going for the first time in May. I'm really excited. So I'll be asking you for tips.
I'm definitely the person to ask.
Yes. Because of the, for listeners and watchers, definitely check out DisneyCompendium.com. It's a phenomenal podcast where JJ and your partner were there. You guys go through every freaking Disney movie in awesome detail. You've had me on there. Yeah. And opened my eyes to what's the name of the movie? It was
Song of the South.
Song of the South. My first time ever watching it, and yeah. So check it out. A great podcast. Anyways, back to being bought by Microsoft. Yeah, it's there. Is there going to be anything left that Evo was bought, and now this is being bought? And
yeah, we're starting to like drift into that reality where there's just going to be 3 video game companies, and they're all just going to be. You're going to have Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft, and it's just like everyone's owned by everyone. It's just going to be like that weird. The fast food wars from Demolition Man, where it's like everything's now Taco Bell, just like everything's now Xbox.
Yeah. It's what I find kind of interesting is Microsoft got rid of Mixer, right? They bought Beam or whatever it was.
Yeah, whatever the fuck that was, yeah.
And then and took that over and said, we're gonna rename it to Mixer, and it's gonna be our Twitch competitor. And they had it at E3 a couple years to like zero fanfare.
Yeah, wasn't that where like Ninja went?
They dumped money into they signed massive $1 million contracts with Ninja with a bunch of other folks, and then said, "Oh, it didn't work." I think
it's hard, man. There's no real money to be had in that kind of thing, and it's just like you got to find the trick into turning that into money. And
so, exactly. And I think one thing that I think what Microsoft is doing something right here, and I'll say why. They bought Mixer wanting to build a Twitch competitor. And as we've seen, there is no Twitch competitor out there except for YouTube, right? Only YouTube might be the only Twitch competitor out there. I know people talk about Facebook, and I don't know how big it is, but you never hear anybody really actually talking about it as a completely serious competitor to Twitch just yet. Yeah. And they realize they can't start from scratch, which is what they were doing with Mixer. And they're starting from zero and trying to force it into and Xbox was having kind of weak years with the Xbox One, towards the end of the Xbox One's lifespan. And so they backed off. They shut down Mixer and said, just go to Facebook, because obviously we can't build up a community right now. They're working on Xbox Live, and Xbox Live had, as great as it was when it first started, it did everybody else sort of caught up in a way, right? Yeah. PlayStation had their own communities and online. Discord became everybody uses this. Like we use Discord all the time to chat.
It's funny because they were the first ones to really, outside of like the PC data, the PC crowds, like were the first ones to really like embrace a community. And they just let it get stagnant. It doesn't feel like you're part. They have all of these like beacons and shit like that, and like none of it seems to really work or is conducive to like a group setting. Like it doesn't feel like you have the same level of parties in Xbox that you used to be able to, and Discord has helped sort of make that a thing. Like you can really like everyone can you can create your own fucking server with your voice chat and everything and just call it a day, and you don't even have to launch it within game. You're just doing it on your own and just calling it good.
Exactly. And I mean you can watch streams in there. I watch Taylor's whenever Taylor streams and other folks stream in the group. And so in a way, they took the back seat and said, listen, we're not going to be the competitors to Twitch from a pure streaming standpoint and Twitch and Stadia. What if we actually looked at the community aspect side of things and said, let's build up communities that are more than just streaming, that's audio, because people do podcasts in there. They're seeing the rise of things like Clubhouse, and Twitter Spaces, and Facebook starting their own thing. And they're really saying, we got to get... They're realizing, because Xbox is becoming kind of platform agnostic right now, right? Yeah. Xbox is going to be Game Pass.
Yeah,
Mark my word.
Xbox by there won't be like the next console generation won't
Yeah.
have an Xbox
Right.
system. It will
Yeah.
be the Xbox brand on something you already own
Yep.
or built
On
into your
TVs
TV.
or on.
Yeah,
Yep. And
built into a Tesla.
exactly. No, I completely agree. And I think that's why going this route is
I think
genius for them, actually.
Yeah, I think taking that sort of the parties aspect and that sort of group thing and taking it off the console system
Mm-hmm.
is or having it still be on the console but also having it also be completely separate and usable away from the console is brilliant. It's a great way of handling it because that's how it's working now.
Yeah.
And just have that just be sort of having all of that streamlined into the Xbox ecosystem is smart for them. I don't know what that means for Discord as a whole. I hope it doesn't
Yeah.
change Discord that much by being in a big, huge corporate umbrella like that, and they want to change too much. Or I would hope they don't want to change it. This what's working, but at the same time, it's possible. I mean,
It is.
Discord is full of just the absolute most foul dregs of the internet. Because anyone can create a server and they can
Yep.
kind of store whatever, it's a walled garden once you create your server, and anyone can have their kind of trash they want on there. I mean, obviously it can get reported and that's against TOS or whatever, but there will be, I'm sure they're gonna tighten down on some of
Oh yeah.
the ability of what that means to create your own server. And there will be I'll be interested to see if like Nitro gets bundled into Live or something. Like I would
I was
assume it
gonna say
would.
that. Yeah, I think Nitro would get bundled in. I think the what they might
They
end up
already
doing
give
is
you like 3 months of Nitro every once in a while through Live.
yeah. Taylor, if you want to hop on, let me know. We'll have you on there so we can talk beards. Taylor was on there. Taylor saved the show last week. Taylor and Whitney, because I was all you guys. Everybody else abandoned me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you'll see maybe a couple levels of Discord in that case. Like you'll see the one that's more of like the sort of like the simplified, the current one that's at sort of the free level, and then you'll see something that has all of the integrations like you'll see being able to fire Xbox games right out of Discord, right? And I think for me, building up Discord as sort of their actual online network for gaming, I think could be really
it would be
cool.
like putting Discord into the Xbox app that's on the PC. So when you boot up a game, you can boot it straight into like Discord launches alongside the game. And if you've got like your OBS bullshit linked into it and whatever, just be conducive to streaming Xbox Game Pass games straight from the Game Pass app with Discord and stuff. Like,
it'll all be integrated. I mean, they're doing that with Teams right now. They're integrating everything into Teams. We use it for work. We got PowerPoint. We got a bunch of other apps that are built into it, and it's getting there. Teams is definitely getting there. So I can see Discord being sort of the gaming version of Teams. Which you can launch games. You got your community stuff in there. I mean, Game Pass Ultimate, stream games through Discord if you want. I think there's some real big advantages to that. So I think it could end up really being something that's kind of cool if they leverage it correctly. But you will slowly have to have like a Discord Gold and just regular Discord, which is like the stuff that they'll eventually say, we're going to sunset this. Sorry. See you guys. Taylor, I sent you the damn link, by the way. Anyway, so Discord. There you go. Let's see what else. Who else got bought this week? Just kidding. Speaking of Microsoft and Xbox, they have rebranded Xbox Live to just Xbox, which leads us right down that path of Xbox is no longer hardware.
Xbox is a brand. There will be like, I could definitely see in a handful of years, just like it's a set-top box, like a Roku. It's the Xbox, and this is the Xbox, Microsoft's Xbox, and it's just the little, it's like a Roku or a Fire or whatever.
And they
Apple TV, whatever it is,
built into televisions. And it's what's interesting to me is just like they have their Surface, the Microsoft Surface laptops, they'll still sell hardware.
Yeah.
But I think you'll be able to get into Xbox, on
Microsoft has always been a software company, so it was always
Yeah.
super weird for them to be the now
Hardware.
we're making video game hardware, because they did do hardware, but it was never like, but it was always, easy stuff, and they're into the Surface things now, but it's like there's a big difference between the Microsoft mouse and an Xbox.
Yes,
so,
right. Yep.
So, them wanting to go back to their software roots makes a lot of sense.
I think it's time too.
Yeah.
There's so many outlets now for hardware that you don't need to focus on your own device. You did back in the day, back in 2000, 2001, when they first launched. You look at Windows and Office. Office is on everything right now.
Yeah.
Office is on Mac. I have it on Mac. It's on tablets. It's on Android. It's all over the place. So you don't necessarily need to buy a PC. Now, what you could potentially do is like what Microsoft is doing, which is you make Xbox, you integrate it into PCs, like they're doing with Windows. You integrate Xbox into PCs a lot better. So when you buy a gaming PC, you're buying an Xbox gaming PC. Maybe you don't even have Windows on it. Maybe it's just Xbox brand. I mean, you could kind of see that slowly start to happen with them.
There would be a weird sort of like arms race for like the tech, because like it's not uniform across PCs.
Right.
So the cloud stuff is going to have to really be there. Like, it comes with every PC, but like, the PC that you bought at Best Buy, you're only going to be able to run the cloud stuff, because you're certainly not going to be running Flight Simulator from this particular PC. But partner up with fucking Main Gear or some bullshit. Just like, this is the Xbox edition of this or whatever. Yeah, and just have
run everything on Xbox at this level.
And that way you could constantly have a hardware refresh without having to do 1X, 1S. It was just like, no, it's every year there's going to be a better PC, and that's the better Xbox.
Completely agree. So it's crazy times in Xbox land, but good for them, I guess. It could be something that they really end up capitalizing on. So maybe it's time for them to go digital as more of the service side. Still sell hardware, but don't make that the main focus, and just
especially since it seems like this generation they've kind of
the refrigerator. Yep.
Yeah,
I want the Rock's refrigerator.
Yeah, they kind of have given up already this generation, and kind of realized that they're going to be running second to PlayStation this whole time, because the PlayStation 5 just seems to be the one on everyone's minds right now for no real reason, since they're not particularly different machines.
And what's really kind of interesting, and Microsoft is sort of weirdly looking forward right now.
Yeah.
Here we go. Ready? Taylor Bliss. I'll put you up top of that wheel.
I took 1/3 of JJ's beard and put it on my face.
That's 1 week, dude. How did you grow that much facial hair in 1 week? Because last week you didn't have nearly this much. I don't know how you did
it. I don't know. It's due, actually. I need to trim it down. I'm like a memorial to Labor Day. Like memorial to Labor Day. It's just all on like buzz trim. And then only during the winter time, so does it get long, and then people make fun of him. But.
Well, welcome to the show, Taylor T. Bliss.
Yeah, I'm here.
The good news is I can wear a respirator at work now. So
that's a plus. That's a plus.
But you just joined us, so we're talking Microsoft and all the crazy stuff that they're doing this week with the rebranding of Xbox, purchase of Discord, and how they're
the Xbox Network.
The Xbox Network. So what I'm look at that. We got a bunch of folks. Look at Mr. Question is hopping in there as well. I think what's really kind of interesting right now is JJ, you were right. I think you're right. They already see themselves falling behind public perception to PlayStation in terms of the hardware side. PS5 is everywhere. I mean, everybody's talking PS5. It was the big thing over the holidays. You couldn't.
I got a
find
question.
an Xbox as
Why do
well,
we think that is?
It's just public perception. Yeah, I don't know.
What drove it? Because
don't
I couldn't figure it out. Like when it came to in stock alerts and PS5 was it, and I was just like, I mean,
yeah,
I get it, but why PS5 in particular?
I think it's just because it's the only one that's really trying to sell itself as an all new thing. Like it definitely, like the marketing behind it was it's our new system, and it has at launch it had what they weren't exclusive games, but they tried to make you think they were exclusive games, like Spider-Man or whatever. It's like you could play that on whatever you wanted, but but the Series X just kind of came out as like, hey, this is another hardware revision. It's launching with nothing, but it has Game Pass, and there's going to be some upgrades. But
do you think the numerical on the PlayStation iterations is playing into it in a big way?
It would have to. I think it would have to in a lot of ways. It definitely is.
Yeah.
It sounds new. It looks new.
Because here's the thing: is that you look at the iteration on Xbox One was the Xbox One X, right?
Yeah.
In order for the hardware revision, as opposed to PS4 and PS4 Pro, and then you iterate on Xbox One X with Xbox Series X, and it's like
Series S, which is also
right, and so it's like I know that PS4 is worse than PS5.
Yeah.
But I don't know what Xbox X and Series X and One X and is it a Wii and Wii U situation, and is that the reason why PS5?
I
cuts a
think
corner.
That's a part of it.
I think that's definitely part of it. It can't not be part of it because it is. Everyone made fun of that branding out the gate, just like everyone made fun of the Wii U branding out the gate because it's stupid. It's incredibly stupid.
It's
so weird.
Their messaging as well was, don't worry. Everything you get on the Series X, you can play on your current Xbox One.
Yeah,
right.
You can, so you don't.
Were they doing almost too good?
Yes,
and making sure that they are trying to cater to as many people as possible.
Yeah,
but at the same time, I doubt that that's not part of their plan. They have to.
Your question, we communicate with you guys.
They have to know that by incorporating as many current gen owners or previous gen owners, that they're going to lag in next console sales. Like there's no way that they're that dysfunctional to not realize that's the case.
Yeah. Yep. And also it was brought up in one of the comments just a second ago was that Halo Infinite reveal for the thing when that popped up and it looked like absolute horseshit. Oof. That was some bad marketing. Like they went on crowd control real fast on that one. Like, don't worry, it was a little rough looking. I mean, like in the crowd's defense, but credit where credit's due. They went back and it's like, they Sonic the Movie'd it. And like, all right, we'll go back and it'll come out later. Yeah,
look at
when that later is still unclear, but it's definitely.
So look at how they've reacted this time around as opposed to what happened with the Xbox One. Remember the Xbox One, they said, hey, here's our big plan. We're going to do this always online thing. We have all these family
Plug
features.
It in your TV, man.
Plug it in your TV. And people destroyed. Public perception was horrible. Why are you doing this? There's no network connectivity. What a stupid idea. We don't own our games, blah, blah, blah. And they backtracked on almost everything. And
they pivoted extremely... in an extremely agile fashion, and recovered quite well.
Yeah.
Once Sony had that, how do you share a game with your friends video came out.
Yeah.
It was just like,
and then Sony, the pricing mic drop that Sony did too. But this time around, Microsoft came out first, said, listen, consoles from now on are going to be fluid. So better to accept it and be ready for it so that your PS5, if you whatever you buy down the line is still compatible with the games that you have now. And I think they knew that, and I think they're willing to take that hit now, knowing that it's going to be more service and long-term based.
But I think that's a funny juxtaposition considering where PS3 and, with them taking down the stores and what people have found in regards to even disc-based media of, the 2 gen ago systems where it looks like at some point, if your CMOS battery dies on your PS3, it won't even be able to play disc-based media. because it won't, it holds that that key store with the last time that it connected to the store, and once it loses that, then you won't be able to even run disk-based media. So it's kind of funny that we give PlayStation props for what it did for that marketing point, and now it's like, okay, well, it also looks like they, hey, I mean, listen, everybody here knows that it's all marketing BS anyway. So, it is what it is.
And PlayStation has made it like, was it Jim Ryan or whatever has made it completely clear that he does not give a shit about old games.
No, correct. Yeah.
So it doesn't matter to him.
What was the old backwards compatible line? Was it like just buy a PS2 or whatever the PS3?
Yeah, because it's like I don't know why anyone want to play it. I played Gran Turismo 1 and it looks terrible, and it's just like, no shit, but I do want to play that shit. But,
and meanwhile, Nintendo's like, you're just gonna buy it again, so here it is again. For the 18th time.
I think. And remember, this is the same company that released the PS1
Same
Classic.
Here. I care about the old ones too.
I'm going to be talking extensively about old games today. So.
Yes. You are actually, yes. I would actually go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, when the tweet went out, or when the story broke in regards to the PS Store going down for 3 Vita and was it NPSP? I can't What's weird about this is the fact that there's clearly no like line that Sony draws, and like, this is how long we want our stores to last. Because at the same time that the PSP store is going down, it's the PS3 and PS Vita.
Yeah.
Because the lifespan of all three of those didn't begin at the same time. Yeah. And it's just, I don't know. I think part of it is that they tied them all on the same back end, and what's happening is that they're taking down the one back end. It's like, okay, well, if one goes, they all have to go. That's really probably what it is. But go ahead, JJ.
I booted up the Vita store the other day because I wanted to download something on my Vita, and that store is a fucking mess anyways. And there's like
it wasn't
icons.
It wasn't super.
All the images are broken, so it's like is this the game I'm looking for? I don't know, maybe. So it's like, well, okay, I guess.
Mr. Question says he bought a Windows XP because he loves old games. Nintendo is still technically running on a Windows XP for their backend for their servers. So
apparently, that's right. That's right.
They do too. Yeah, I agree. Microsoft has been fantastic of saying every game that you have ever owned should work. I mean, it should even all throughout our generation.
Except it doesn't, and it never will. It doesn't. But
but meanwhile, PlayStation, Nintendo are saying it's done.
Yeah. I want to put my copy of X-Men Origins Wolverine in my Xbox and play it.
Nice.
All right, now I know that you're just making fun of me.
No, I fucking love that game, and I would love to.
I'm not surprised you do, JJ.
Series X with 60 frames per second.
Jesus Christ.
Ooh, that'd be hot.
Hey, Ravens. It was Ravens, like one of their very last games until they got folded into like, now you're just doing multiplayer for Call of Duty for the rest of the year.
Yeah. But the last point I was going to make was that when that tweet went out, it just jump started a bunch of conversations about the saving of old games and of
piracy.
It's every conversation is going to basically like circle back to emulation again at that point, because that's where we are now.
The only way at this point. Yeah, it shouldn't be the only way, but fortunately, it's the only way.
It's the only way. Yeah. Let's move on to a couple more little news bites here. Yet another. A report on the new Super Nintendo Switch Pro Plus Advance that it's going to use NVIDIA. I just kind of threw every single name together. I just hope that that's the actual name.
I'm sure it is, Dali. You got it.
Yeah. It's going to use the NVIDIA, the DLSS, which is the deep learning super sampling, which is basically a really nice way to up-res, the quality of something to make it.
It's in some ways it's AI driven texture rendering.
Yep.
To put it dumb it down in a way that my brain can understand it.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. So apparently the new Switch is gonna use that somehow on a in outputs to television and handheld mode. It's still gonna be the current 720p with but with a 6-inch or 7-inch screen now. 6-inch. 7-inch, whatever.
7-inch is the reported one.
Yeah, so a bigger screen. But that's all we really know about that. I mean, it's all these are rumors and reports until things are. But they're saying 2021. It's coming out this year. I still don't believe it because the more that they ties in with NVIDIA socks and NVIDIA silicone, maybe they managed to drop it in 2021, but when is anybody going to actually get one?
It's
true. Yeah.
Anything silicone based right now is going to get scalperized.
Well, and that's what's happening with. I was going to mention that with PlayStation and Xbox, you can't get the consoles right now because they can't produce them, and so Microsoft is saying, forget the hardware. Let's just go digital with our game. That's why they made a good. That's why when they announced the Bethesda games, the purchase, and they talked about exclusivity, Phil Spencer's point was, these will be on any platform that has Game Pass.
Yeah.
Did not say these are going to be exclusive to Xbox. It's any platform that has Game Pass. So they understand it. They know what they're doing. But the hardware is going to be hard to come by this year.
And in the back of your mind, you still wonder about the old rumors of is Game Pass going to end up on Switch or not. I mean, I feel like that one, like, it started, it kind of fizzled, but it never truly died. And especially with stuff.
Ultimate, I think more Game Pass Ultimate will show up on it.
Yeah, because I think the only way you pull that off is to have the streaming on it.
Yeah.
And that's like, it's maybe throw in a couple of like weird like indie games that the Switch can run natively as download options or something.
Or whatever. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. But although that didn't end up. I mean, that just ended up there as a port, right? Not as part of a Game Pass offering.
Yeah.
But
Cuphead isn't on Game Pass, is it? I don't like. It's everywhere. It's a Microsoft game, but I don't
know. Let me launch my Xbox app right now, and I will tell you.
Ask Cortana and find out if his Cuphead.
I'm not going to do that.
Do that live. Be like, hey Alexa, order Cuphead. I'm curious if that is. We're having a live look to see if Cuphead is on.
It's not on. I mean, it's not on PC. I'll tell you that.
I mean, I downloaded on my laptop, so I mean, I know it's on PC. So.
No, it's not on Game Pass for PC. So it's not on Game Pass.
So it's probably not on Game Pass.
Yeah, that's weird. That's weird. I don't know. It seems like.
Yeah.
Considering
maybe that next Switch can actually run run Game Pass Ultimate. A few more delays. It's like delay season right now. Again, all these delays have been coming out. So the latest one, Gotham Knights, has been delayed from 2021 to 2022. We knew that wasn't going to come out this year because they haven't talked about it since like beginning of last year. So that's not coming out till.
Was it in E3 2020?
No.
It was announced. It was announced during last year's, like, as the pandemic was starting and nobody knew what was going on. Here's our
interesting. Okay.
And then it was the DC Fandom.
Oh yeah, the Fandom thing.
It was at Fandom. No, you're remembering that I told you guys because I got the info ahead of time that they were working on this and they were working on the Suicide Squad game.
Game too, yeah.
By the way, Suicide Squad game was going to be 2022 as well, so you're not going to release two multiplayer DC games like this in the same year. So Suicide Squad's going to get pushed back.
It's so weird to push like a perfect like movie like tie-in sort of thing.
They will. It really is. Yeah.
Like you're going to push it out 2 years.
Do you think that there's any likelihood that if buzz goes up on the Suicide Squad movie, because like the trailer just dropped, right?
Yeah.
And there's generally positive response from what I've seen, at least. What do you think the chances are that if the movie drops or the buzz for the movie goes well, that they swap it around so that the game drops with it?
I guess not drop. I mean, the movie's coming out in August.
Not with it, but like, is it coming this August?
Yeah, it's this August.
Okay, that's too early.
Yeah. So 0. Yeah,
0% chance. Yeah.
But I could see them drop a demo, or a beta, right, or an alpha or something, and say, "Hey, join us for this beta. We got it running. And maybe at that point they say that they're going to be, the game will launch in, beginning of maybe the very end of this year, the beginning of next year, if they really push it and release it in chunks or something."
It's impossible for us to know where the fuck that game is. Like, it's
no idea.
Like that, like they're talking about delaying Gotham Knights and not talking about Suicide Squad at all.
Yeah, exactly. So. Yeah. So, another delay. Obviously, Bomb Rush Cyberpunk was delayed a little bit, so that's kind of a bummer because that game is the Jet Set Radio homage.
Oh right, yeah.
Let's see here. Another one that got delayed. Obviously, Spider-Man is. We briefly mentioned it last week, but that's not coming.
The Avengers delay.
The Avengers game is delayed.
Oh my god.
Let's see. Another delay is Back for Blood has been delayed to October, and that was sort of the Left 4
Dead. Yeah.
Yep. Humankind also got like a very last second delay. It was supposed to launch in April. Bunch of delays. We're seeing just the continued effects of the pandemic, obviously.
Yeah.
So it's understandable. It's at this point we just tell people don't rush anything because there are a ton of games right now. There's still the indie games are propping up this industry right now in a way that I think is really cool. Loot Hero. I don't know how big that game would have been if it was battling some massive game at the moment, or a giant Nintendo game, or an online game, or a Rainbow Six update or something. Yeah. So, or a Destiny or whatever. So I think it's the indies are really kind of, because they're typically people that just work from home anyways. In a lot of these cases, especially the smaller studios too. So they're really kind of coming through right now, and you're seeing those games. That's why I mean. Microsoft had that ID at Xbox thing today, which was really weird. Sony did their that sucked.
Sucked.
Future Game Show was yesterday, and it was all indies. You had, I think, Sony had like this indie presentation last week, I think. So, and Nintendo's been big on the indie world stuff because they just haven't been putting out very many directs. So I think the indie stuff is what's really kind of helping the industry. There's a lot of cool stuff out there. I mean, the majority of the stuff we talk about is either indies or old games being updated, which you're going to talk about in a second here. So yeah, it's I'm not worried. Make them right, make the games good, and we go from there. I think that's probably the best way to say it.
I think that's part of the reason why like the idea at Xbox stuff is kind of like frustrating, because we've moved into such a focus, like a world of focus onto indie stuff, which I felt like a lot of the ID games were, and it's just like still just like, and you just make it an unenjoyable thing to watch.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. At least that's kind of like my takeaway on it.
Yeah. So, any other news that you guys, or we can move on to what we've been playing?
Was there any more news? I don't know. You would know better than I would.
I don't think there was. It was just a lot of like delays and
all those new PlayStation Plus freebies hit today.
That landed today. Yep. One last one. The next Niantic and Nintendo game is Pikmin, which I actually think is kind of cool.
I don't know. I'll be interested to see what the fuck that is. Like, what is that kind of game? What is a Niantic Pikmin game?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that I'm in a minority here, but I'm past it being interested in most Niantic games. To be honest. That's just me, though.
That's just you. All right. I'm going to switch us over to what we've been playing. No, we do not have none of us. Oh, you know what? The folks that stream here are usually a part of the podcast. JJ is on it all the time with myself. Yeah. Taylor just kind of appears. It's always fun to have Taylor.
That's true. But I think the question actually might be like if we stream separately from like on Twitch aside from this. Yeah. At least that's how I interpreted the question, Don.
Sure. Who knows? I don't know. I can't read very well sometimes. I haven't had enough coffee yet. But you stream at T Bliss, so go to.
Technically, I have a Twitch that has streamed previously at T Bliss, but I wouldn't exactly go there following expecting to see content.
And I'm trying to stream more with Dolly Demosky, my Dolly Demosky account. I couldn't think of a cool name. So I just ended up with Dolly Demosky. I have streamed in the past.
Think of the branding, Dolly.
Yeah, I gotta think of the win. I got to do some more streaming for some of the games that I've been playing. I got the HD 60S loaded up, ready to go with some Switch stuff. So I've been playing here and there. Steph has been watching me, but yeah. Anyways, let's get into what we've been playing.
Oh
I want to talk to JJ about what he's been playing, and I'm actually going to share. I'm going to share a video.
Okay.
Let's see here. You want to go that one first, or you want to go do a different thing first?
That's probably the one. Everything else is small, so it'd be best to get the big one out of the way.
All right, let's get this big one out of the way. I won't be playing. Don't worry. All right,
yeah, baby.
Oh my God, JJ!
A whole compilation of Neo Geo Pocket Color games. Hell yeah!
JJ's got the whole compilation of Neo Geo Pocket that we got sent the code. Thank you to the SDK folks. And as usual, JJ has been reviewing these little releases for Neo Geo Pocket, and they said, you know what? Let's just put all these releases into like one compilation with a few other ones, and I right away send it to JJ.
Yeah,
JJ. So far,
because there's only like 3 people that are bothering to talk about these old handheld games, and I'm one of them. Yeah, man. So several of these are ones that are already out. So there's not much to talk about on that one. I think we talked about Fatal Fury and Match of the Millennium already on here at length. The cool ones that are on here are Metal Slug. They've got 2 Metal Slug games on there.
I'm going to play that one. Okay, continue. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
No,
Metal
Dark
Slug
Arms,
second mission,
Yeah. Dark Arms and the what's it called? Big Tournament Golf. Are the big huge like new releases on this thing. The Metal Slug games, do you like Metal Slug? Is that a franchise you're a fan of?
Hey guys, do you like Metal Slug?
Yeah, because there are 2 on here and one of them is good.
All right, here I'm gonna show the Metal Slug first mission.
So first mission's not great. First mission is a first attempt at a handheld version of a Metal Slug game. It's very tame. It's very.
I was gonna say, yeah.
It really is just like the Contra game for the Game Boy. It's very much that. It doesn't have the same level of like directional like the directional shooting's like a little off, and it's really just 90-degree angles of gunshots. You can see
it looks kind of simplistic.
Simplistic, yeah. It doesn't feel like Metal Slug. It doesn't have the same weight to it that Metal Slug has. It doesn't have the sense of humor Metal Slug has. The vehicle stuff is real weak in it. It's a bummer of a game to go back to because it doesn't hold up as good as anything else on this compilation. I wouldn't recommend like play through it because it's on there and you have the set, but here you go in the tank and you can see that the Metal Slug itself, and it's just kind of everything just feels wrong and off, and you don't have like the different types of weapons that you're used to with Metal Slug, and the platformings feel stiff and off.
Like he's like can't even. This is like
he missed the jump on a demo playthrough. Ooh.
Yeah, this is their sizzle reel, and even they're like, I can't. What? So Metal Slug first mission is not great. Second mission though is the good one. That one actually is a Metal Slug game. That one, it has voice acting. It has like the different types of weapon types. It feels like a Metal Slug game. You can just tell that they learned all of their lessons from this first game. It feels like a completely different team, completely different game. Like it doesn't feel anywhere even remotely related to first mission. It's like it doesn't feel like a sequel. It just feels like it's a different game. It just feels like it's like it should have been the first Metal Slug. But it's great. And like I said, it has the visuals are incredibly good on second mission. And it's got voice acting, which is really impressive for a 1999 handheld that like wasn't really doing a whole lot graphically anyways. But yeah, sound wise, none of these games ever sound particularly good. But that I think they wanted you to play them, you know, just sit in your room and play these.
Yeah.
sit
So
on the
it
bus,
still uses that layout
uses,
where
every game, like the games that are on here that are already on the eShop or whatever the heck they call it, are exactly the same. Once you're in the game, exactly the same. There's no difference. It has the same layout. You get to choose your stuff. There are some cool new features in the menu that you can go into. You have 3 choices of Neo Geo Pocket that you can use. You can use the black and white one, you can use the color, and you can use the color revision, like the new color.
Interesting.
So that's cool. And some games don't.
That wasn't in the other standalone releases. Oh,
nope.
Wow.
Nope. Some games do not support the black and white version. So like you'll put on the Queen of Fighter, the Gal Fighters game, and you just can't play it in black and white because it was a color only game. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, like how they had this thing was really cool that you were talking
3D
about.
models of the original game packaging. Finally,
I posted a video of this and I posted on my Twitter because I have Match of the Millennium in its original packaging, the hard case packaging, and it's 1-to-1. It is exactly the same from every angle. Like
that's awesome.
Case, it's genuinely impressive that like they've just modeled every single one of these games manual.
JJ, a true purist.
Yes, that is beautiful.
Love it. Absolutely love it. I love this stupid bullshit. It's like exactly what I'm looking for in these kinds of packages. And the menu, the game select menu, is the cartridges. Like you just pick your game based on the cartridge.
Sweet. That to me is really cool because you really are kind of enjoying the history of a game when you when you talk about when you showcase that, because the cartridge is so important back then.
Yeah, and like it's a scan of the manual. It is the original manual that was in those games. So yeah, it's Samurai Showdown. That's the thing. The fighting games, you see, they're showing the pictures of all these fighting games. They're all exactly the same. They just like the cast is different. Or there's even they have different things. Like the Gal Fighters one has like an items situation. That where you can like earn items that let you like have buffs in the matches and stuff. Match of the Millennium has the mini games. Samurai Showdown has like trading cards that you can like link up with your friends and trade cards back and forth and collect them throughout the game and stuff.
Oh, wow.
And that kind of dumb stuff. But yeah, just on this thing alone, you can see it's night and day difference between the first game and the second game.
It looks like a completely different game. Yeah, that was cool. And then Dark Arms is one that wasn't available really either, right?
Yeah, it wasn't really. It's a hard one to get like physically now. Anyways, I don't have it, and I'm playing through it now because it's one of the longer games. It's an RPG kind of thing where you're like, it's clearly trying to be. The part of it wants to be Pokemon, you can tell, but it's not. It's like you are collecting like the souls of demons and things, and it's like this top-down adventure. You have a gun that lets you capture the demons and stuff. But I'm just getting into it, and I'll probably talk about it. Maybe there'll be a part 2 of this one while I figure that game out, whatever that game is exactly. I'm not really sure yet, but.
Very cool. So you've been playing through that. They wanted us to know. They said, make sure you guys talk about Metal Slug 2 because that one's not available yet. And
yeah, it's so funny. Like the other ones that are the Golf one and Dark Arms are like the more interesting ones because like Dark Arms is kind of this game that non-existent in anyone's mind but my own, and like there's no. Nobody's going to talk about that game. Everyone's going to focus on the Metal Slug part of this and the fighting game stuff. So, and the golf game's great because golf games tend to be great. I mean,
great in general. Yeah.
It's and the Neo Geo golf games, like the arcade golf games and stuff, were very good. and this is just like a pocket version of that. And
Nice.
yeah, I like it. It's a great package.
Cool. Cool.
I think it's one of those things where it's like picking and choosing is probably a better option overall, but you don't get the sort of like fun little museum-y kind of things that you get with
Sure.
the full version. Like, it's cool to be able to play it in like, black and white mode or whatever. But at the same time, like, you just get Metal Slug 2 when it comes out, and I think that's a great one to have. Definitely, you don't have to play Metal Slug 1. It's unfortunately, Metal Slug 1's a bad game. I don't want to say that, but it is. It's a bad game. Metal Slug Second Mission's a good one, and all the fighting games are great for various reasons, but they all have a good art style and they all play really well, and they all have different sort of mechanics to change them up between the different ones, even though they all play the same. There's a twist that's different in each one, so it's a great collection.
This is exposing. It seems like it's exposing the Neo Geo Pocket to so many people who never played it, never owned one.
Well, and also think about the average age of Switch owner and how many people were alive when the Neo Geo Pocket came out.
None.
Zero. None of them.
It's a game. It's a system that existed in like 1999, 2000, and that was it.
That's true. Its lifespan was also immensely small,
especially in this country. It's called Volume. It's called Volume 1, and I'm curious what a Volume 2 would be, because there are some other games. Like, there are 2 card fighter games that are cool. That are Capcom versus SNK and SNK versus Capcom card fighters. And there's a couple of other games that would need licensing things. Like, there's a really good Sonic the Hedgehog game on the Neo Geo Pocket Color. Do they partner up with Sega to get that on there? Maybe. I don't know. But I don't know what Volume 2 is if there is one. But they're calling it Volume 1, so I'm assuming they have intentions for Volume 2. And I'll be here for it.
Baseball stars. Bring on baseball stars.
It is wild to me that they released the Neo Geo Pocket into a world where you would knowingly compete against the Game Boy Color.
Yeah.
It's so wild.
And they released it really with a one-track mind, because you saw this collection has, let me count. On this collection alone, it has 6 fighting games out of the six of the 10 games on this collection are fighting games. So they released a handheld with the express intent to just do fighting games, which was also the Neo Geo Systems market.
Well, and in their defense, by and large, probably, I mean, prior to the Switch, I should say, it still held many of the best portable fighting games ever developed.
Yeah, I think I said when we did the Match of the Millennium one, I said this was, until very, very recently, the best handheld fighting game around. And that's just because handheld fighting games were terrible. It wasn't until the PSP came out where they started getting good. Like,
I mean, I am
Alpha 3 and stuff. Yeah,
I imported. There was a fighting game for the Bleach anime that never came stateside, and I imported the Japanese version of it, mostly because it was regarded as like one of the best developed fighting games that have that have been released in since the Neo Geo Pocket. It's pretty much it.
Yeah. And it wasn't the only weird niche market handheld on the market at the time, because there was still the Wonder Swarm floating around out there too.
There was, and there was a Mega Man game on this. Sorry, a Rockman game. So.
Rockman, yeah.
So there are still a few games I think they can drop into this.
They like those Rockman games probably would, because they had to. It was a big deal to them that they partnered with Capcom to bring us Match of the Millennium. So that was in their press release for this set of all things. Like, Match of the Millennium's already out, but they were like, we've partnered with Capcom to bring you
Wonder Swan never came to stateside though, right?
I don't think the color one did, but I think the black and white one did.
Did it?
Yeah. I have two somehow, and one, but so, but I don't. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's
I one day want to be excited about anything as JJ is about Neo Geo Pocket Collection.
Neo Geo I am. If there's one thing I could say about myself, it's that I love Neo Geo anything, and I get excited.
Don't worry, we know.
Yeah. I can. Do you want me to talk about the Neo Geo mini arcade machine or the?
I saw your tweets on it. I get it.
Now you get it.
I liked how you threw in the bit about not being 100% sure if you were going to buy it, as if it was a question.
Oh yeah, it was definitely. I try to play coy on that stuff.
Yeah. I definitely felt like there was a chance. Don't worry.
There you go.
Yeah, shipping confirmation number is already in the email box.
All right. So what else have you been playing?
Avengers.
Ah, yes.
I'm playing that.
You enjoying the new leveling system? How's it feel?
It's so lame. Fuck these guys, man. I like playing the game, but now it just like, oh, now you're making it a chore. Cool.
Perfect.
But I don't, It's
too passionate.
Yeah. The new Hawkeye stuff is good. I really, really like. It's the Matt Fraction Hawkeye.
Okay.
So it's a good Hawkeye. It's the good Hawkeye that everyone loves.
I am deleting some stuff off my PS5 hard drive this weekend.
Oh my god!
So I can load up Marvel's Avengers.
The PS5 stuff is
for
cool.
what?
Like,
to do what?
I know. just to say that I loaded it. I
would like to play with somebody at some point because nobody plays Avengers and I've never played it multiplayer. So.
All right, I'll load it up and we can try that out for sure.
But the PS5 upgrade's pretty nice. It uses the DualSense pretty good. Has some. Cool...
I did see some of the ad stuff about the visual improvements coming to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely looks better. The DualSense stuff's pretty good. Like when you're playing as Hawkeye, of course, obviously, there's tension to the triggers when you're drawing your bow and everything. Mm-hmm. It's got that weird haptic feedback when you walk around, and I'm not sure how I feel about that stuff right now because like I don't need it to be rumbling all the time. It's just like every footprint, every footstep doesn't need to be of something. It's okay. It's okay. Because that controller never shuts up in like Control. It's just constantly on the move. But yeah, I haven't gotten too deep into the Future Imperfect stuff yet, so I don't know if it's
says that's your character drift.
I've been incredibly lucky with my controllers, so I don't have any drift issues on anything that I have, even my Switch.
Unless it's a racing game,
yeah, it's Hot Shot Racing or whatever. But I hope it. Future Imperfect is one of my favorite comic book Marvel comic stories. Mm-hmm. So to call this expansion Future Imperfect, you better fucking deliver, or else I'm gonna be mad. I'm gonna be mad. But yeah, it's good. It's fine. It makes they're gonna go out of their way to ruin the game as much as they can. But Spider-Man, haven't seen hide nor hair of that webhead, and they've already started teasing the Wakanda expansion. So at least
doubling down.
Yeah, At least this expansion has new areas. Like the Hawkeye expansion does have new areas to go to. Unfortunately, it's just the one new area, and it's like a post-apocalyptic Mad Max wasteland. But it's a new area nonetheless. So there's that. What's the name of that stupid Fireworks Mania or whatever the hell it is that's on Steam now? It's
yeah.
I downloaded that, and that game's just
okay.
That game's just
yeah.
I saw Wario 64 tweeting about that. Yeah,
just just causing havoc in this small rural town with fireworks. It's great. Blew up a church.
Nice.
I was loading fireworks and propane tanks. I was like, they're not gonna let me blow up a church, are they? And it's like, oh well, son of a bitch.
Yep.
The doors are
they
open.
Did.
Yeah.
They did.
But that's I don't know. That's a good time killer. I like that game. I'd recommend that for like $10. Just sit there and blow up a truck with some Roman candles and some propane tanks. There you go. You know what game? Because I got a new gaming laptop.
Oh, there you go.
So I'm just going through like my Steam library and just downloading random bullshit and playing it.
Stuff that's been sitting in your Steam library that you bought on a drunken night, didn't remember. Yeah, I know that feeling.
Yep. Yeah. So it's like, so outside of like playing through Doom Eternal again, I like, I haven't played Max Payne 3 since that came out the first time. So I downloaded Max Payne 3 and played through. Well, first I tried to play through Max Payne 1. And that game doesn't work on PC without patching it to getting fan patches out the ass. So I just gave up on that. And Max Payne 2 runs like shit. So I was like, so I guess I'll just play 3 then. And I forgot how fun that game was. That's a good little classic third-person shooter. It has no bells or whistles to it. Like, it's just...
Yeah, Max Payne 3 came out 9 years ago. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it was Rockstar's last game, like until they started just falling into the Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead hole. But that it's guns only, man. It is just shoot.
It's guns only.
There's no melee. There's no like knives, grenades, nothing. It is just you're shooting guys.
Wait, they sell Red Dead Online separately from Red Dead Redemption 2?
Yeah, they just like end of last year they separated it, and it was like, what was it, like $5 when it first launched as a standalone thing?
I mean,
it's not now.
I was gonna say it's $20 now.
Yeah, when they first separated it out, it was like dirt cheap just to like look. Like your first taste is free, kind of.
Jesus Christ!
Guys, your first taste is free.
I have to assume it's impossible to pull the multiplayer feature out of Grand Theft Auto 5 as a standalone thing, or else they absolutely would have done that ages ago by now.
I mean, they don't need to at this point, right?
Yeah,
because
that game's routinely $10. So it's all about the shark cards now.
Yeah, I mean, Grand Theft Auto 5 Premium Edition is on sale right now for $15. So
yeah,
I think they're good.
Yeah, it's like, hey, you get this bonus single player game too with your Grand Theft Auto Online. But yeah, man, Max Payne. People are still playing Max Payne 3 online, which is sad, I guess, in a weird way. Like, unless it's like, it doesn't seem like it's groups of friends just hanging out. It just seems like people are popping into Max Payne 3 and playing it.
So like, weird.
It's like whenever you see like, oh, we still run our server for Stranglehold or something. Like, how?
Why?
It's Stranglehold. I understand you bought DLC for it, but come on, man. But yeah, just all that old stuff. Arcade action wrestling. Which is coming to consoles soon. It's on PC now, and I got that, and it was originally Chikara Wrestling. But they had to pull that branding out when the owner of Chikara, Mike Quackenbush, turned out to be a sex pest, like so many wrestlers have turned out to be in this last few years.
Sounds about right, yeah.
So now they lost their licensing because, like, well, we can't be associated with this guy. So now it's just all generic stuff. And that game is weird because it's a fun little arcade action
wrestling.
Let's just call wrestling game. Go figure. But it has a very, very, very cool character creator where you can really just make whatever you want. Like, somebody just made a pencil. It has no arms. It has no legs. It's a pencil. Wow. and that's just the strength of their and they have the character creator as like a separate download too, so you can like transfer it and share it and stuff. And it's not deep. It's not anything like a WWE wrestling game or anything, or even that like WrestleFest game, that Retrofest that just came out or something. It doesn't even look good. It's like it has a weird cell shaded look to it, but it's fun. It's really fun, and I feel like I enjoy playing that on like my laptop, or it would be fun to play it on the Switch, where it's just like a time waste. There's not very many good wrestling games anymore, because so to be able to dust off a wrestling game that's actually fun to play once in a while is neat. So
excellent.
That's pretty much it. Everything else is just, Forza, which is I'm always playing Forza. I can't talk about Forza for another.
I'm always playing Forza.
Yeah, just nonstop.
All right. Well, I will talk briefly about what I've been playing, just because a game that I promise not to talk too much about, just so you guys don't get upset at me. And this will be the last time I speak about Bravely Default 2 until I actually beat it. It is still an RPG.
Promise me.
Yeah, it's still a JRPG. And I'm just plugging along, a lot of grinding in the game. I think I'm like almost 30 hours in, and I'm not even halfway there yet. Great. Typical of a Square Enix style game. But let's talk about Octopath Traveler on Game Pass. No, I'm just kidding. I'm at the point in Bravely Default where there is there's like a card game. So my time playing Bravely Default, I was at like 20 hours, and then I spent the last 8+ hours just going around playing this card game, because it's a card game and I have to have a winning record. It's simple. It's essentially, it's like trying to,
It's like the solitaire on PC. You need to have that percentage be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I have to have a winning percentage. There's no achievement, just me because I want to do it. So yeah, again, and I have this problem with freaking games where I get completely sidelined by playing. There's Corey, Octatrash. Thank you, Corey. Yep. So that's what. I'm never gonna finish.
Is it like this with you booted up Witcher 3 and just got lost in Gwent? Like
essentially, yeah. But if I played Gwent and bought it, and if they had like a role-playing version built in with like I'd be playing that more than the actual Gwent part. So yeah, I am very it's so
can't get enough Blitzball. That's all Final Fantasy X.
Yes, that's what I did, was play Blitzball until I was at like the top league and unlocked everything. But I hate that. It's a decent card game. Yeah, I hate that. So it's a decent card game, but it's just addicting enough. So I've been playing one game for review. It is it's actually a Doctor Who game that's surprisingly not horrible, which has been difficult to find because the majority of Doctor Who games have been horrible. The only one that I think was good was the Lego the sort of Lego Dimensions Doctor Who, because it was Lego, and they should just make a freaking Lego Doctor Who game.
There has to be like an old like ZX Spectrum Doctor Who game that was okay, or some sort of MS-DOS Doctor
everything
Who
was
game,
bad.
Right?
Everything was bad. They were all like bad adventure games, and but it's called The Lost Assassins, and it's available on PC, Steam, and mobile. The reason it's available on mobile is it plays like a sort of the Lost Phone style game. So you come across a cell phone that you don't know where you got it from. Yeah, one of those.
It's Her Story or something.
Exactly. And I think it's the developers Kygan, which did they do Her Story? I don't know what, but they're known. They've been around for a while. Yeah, it's not bad. You're kind of going through the cell phone. You're talking to, you find out quickly that it's the doctor that left the cell phone for you, and you start interacting with the doctor, and you're kind of figuring out this, figuring out the story. So it's going to be the kind of game where I kind of play it once and I'm definitely done with it. But because it's not action based, it's not like, match 3 puzzle style type of stuff. I think it's not VR, because the VR Doctor Who stuff has not been good. I think this one is interesting enough because it sort of deals with the, for any Doctor Who fan out there, it deals with the the angels, basically the weeping angels, and it's sort of that thing. It's called the Lost Assassins, and you just like Blink, the very first Weeping Angels episode. You don't even get in touch with. You don't even see the Doctor until like towards the end of the episode. And that's kind of what's happening here, but that writing actually makes it feel like a real kind of Doctor Who thing. So I kind of like that. I think that's kind of interesting. So I've been playing that now, and I'm hoping to kind of have that complete in the next day or so here, so I can actually do a video write up. But the other thing that I picked up today, and I'm going to start playing it this weekend, Monster Hunter Rise. So
oh my god, you actually did buy it.
I did buy it. I know a couple other folks on staff did. I know Corey did. He's been the champion for Mon Hun. So yeah, I'll be playing it this weekend. What have you been playing, Taylor?
Not much new from last time. I've been continuing my evolving my delivery persona in Death Stranding. It's been I've actually had a lot of fun with that experience, although I haven't made it quite as far through it in the same amount of time as when I was playing Loop Hero, because having a baby and playing Death Stranding don't always go together, because Death Stranding requires, I feel like, 100% of my attention, which I don't have to give very often right now, because like it's also like Death Stranding is a game that I feel like it hits a really good stride when I'm in it for like 2+ hours, where I'm just like even the banal stuff of just doing deliveries or just like gathering resources so that I can build a road or stuff like that feels really, it actually like is actually a really enjoyable loop, but I have to be in it for like 3 hours for it to like. It's not that the rest of it's not fun. It's just that it feels really good when you're in it for that long, because you get to do the stuff and see the payoff all within the one stretch, as opposed to trying to break that process up. Where like if you're just picking up a delivery and then you have to break again, it does not feel as good as when you get to also complete that delivery in the same stretch. So that's been a little bit harder. So I haven't made it quite as far through. And then I just picked up Monster Hunter Rise. So I'm literally looking at my other screen. Let's see. I don't know how well this will work. Trying to show it. Hey, look. I'm on literally on the intro portion, so I've got that going through my my capture card, and I probably won't. I'm not going to put that on Twitch until I'm like fully set on that, but I'll probably put that on some Discord streaming. You don't want to put it on
Twitch, because don't do what I did with like the last Monster Hunter.
Oh god, I do not need people like Omega lolling at me or whatever. Gosh, no, thank you. If you want to see me miss like every wire bug attempt at a combo,
why do you even play video games, dummy?
Please, I don't know. Listen, man, I'm 33 with a kid. I'm just trying to survive.
Literally in Monster Hunter. So
literally in Monster Hunter. Please, I'm out of potions. Kill me.
Excellent. Well, very good. We'll I have a feeling you and a few of us actually will be teaming up to play.
We will coordinate some hunts. Yes. I have a feeling.
Everyone always gets Monster Hunter, and it always makes me excited. Like, maybe I should play Monster Hunter, and then I get the new Monster Hunter, and I'm like, I don't like Monster Hunter. And it's just like every single game.
I have enjoyed every single one that I've gotten. It's just that I typically, for some reason, I don't typically get caught in the loop, and I'm not sure why. Because like, I feel like I would, and this is even when I played them previously before I had kids, and I'm not sure why, because like I feel like I would like it. I do attacks and I see numbers, and that's usually like all I need for a loop. I don't know. I think that if I had started it when I was younger, because I didn't really play much before Generations Ultimate 3, I think.
That's okay, because the PSP games like controlled terribly.
Yeah, I mean, PSP didn't have more than one true analog stick, so it's kind of like they were all kind of rough. I mean, the same thing when because it was Generations Ultimate 4
3DS.
was originally 3DS, right? And
Yeah.
and that was before they made the new 3DS with this extra C stick. When I feel like they could have sold the new 3DS. All you had to do was release it at the same time as Monster Hunter, and people have been like, all right, well, I have to get the new one because it's got the C stick for camera control.
Because they put out that stupid attachment for the original.
The attachment, yeah.
That was.
Oh my god, though, it's so wild. I literally forgot about it until you said it, and I'm thinking about it's like, oh my, like only Capcom could truly bring down an entire peripheral to give a system a second analog stick. It's impressive, actually.
Hey, it made Metal Gear Solid 3 on the 3DS a way better game.
True, it did. You're right.
Yeah, well, I mean that was weird. It's like it kind of should have been there because it just has so many practical applications. Like some people are willing to just travel with that thing be bigger because you get a second analog stick. It makes playing games better. But no, I'm excited to like start. The other thing is that I didn't usually start them because like when I bought World, I bought it for PC. And the issue is that when I bought it for PC, like the subset of people that were going to be invested in it had already typically played it. And the people that had already really played it were like, well, I'm not going to buy it for PC because I have all my progress on this game over here, and I don't really care about your PC version. So I'm hoping that being part of the zeitgeist part of it, so to speak, will assist in it pulling, getting some hooks in me.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be fun.
Very good. Very good. All right. We'll get it. Yeah, I always thought that, like, I think I made a good point. Or I made a good point.
No, Jal, you make lots of good points, Dylan.
Lots of good points. Thank you. No, I remember when I tried a few Monster Hunters, just like when I tried Pokemans, right? Because I know you and Pokemon are go way back, Taylor.
Oh yeah, true.
I've tried the first like 2 or 3 Monster Hunter games I played. Monster Hunter 3, then Try, which was the one that was I played the one on the 3DS, whatever it was, then on the Wii U. Or was there a Wii version? I think there was actually
the Monster Hunter Try was Wii. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure.
So I started with that one, and I played, or those, and I had like 2 of them on the 3DS, and I could never get into it. I'm like, guys, I'm never gonna get into Monster Hunter until like the last 3DS version that I have, and it may have been 4 Ultimate, whatever that was. I know they had generations like X after that, but I realized that it's this. You don't play this like just a hack and slash JRPG game. No, it's not at all like that. And when I finally realized, oh shit, there's a lot of like tactical things that I need to do to take down these it's like there's a whole dance essentially with every freaking monster you go after.
Yeah, and it's individual to every single one.
Yep. And I was playing it completely wrong. I guess I'm going to be interested in Monster Hunter Stories because it's more of a traditional style JRPG turn-based thing. But I don't know. It was difficult for me at first, but when I finally got it, I'm like, oh shit, this is really cool. But I'm already like way behind in, I'm just too far behind already. So I'm just gonna wait till the next Monster Hunter comes out. I never got into it just because everything else was coming out. So, but that was that. So yeah, I'll play. I'm gonna get started. I'll start Monster Hunter Rise as soon as I finish Bravely Default.
Oh boy! All right. Well, it's maybe
Ultimate coming.
I'm sure Corey will still be playing it by that time.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. He's they're still playing Final Fantasy 14 on staff. With that, let's pack it up for the evening, my friends. Great time as usual. Thank you to. I'm going to point over there. It's just horrible. To all of the, I forget the camera flips. To all of the wonderful viewers and listeners that we had tonight, and Corey, and we're it's we had a great time. Corey. I had a great time talking to you guys, JJ, Taylor, as always. Thank you very much. It's always a blast. Stefan,
happy to be here
in the chat. Mr. Question, Mr. Question says I have to say NP, which means no program.
No program.
I can suggest a raid. As soon as I figure out what any of this stuff is,
rating is Twitch term.
Is it a Twitch term? Okay, got it. Yeah, sounds good. We'll figure all of this out and more on the next episode of the SideQuest. Remember, you can find us sidequesting.com, on Twitch, on Twitter, on YouTube. Doesn't begin with the TW. You can find us on Clubhouse if that's a thing. I think we're on Napster.
You are so all in on Clubhouse, and I love it. It's just I'm constantly getting notifications of you being.
You
in
can
Clubhouse.
mute me, so you don't have to.
No, I like seeing like what bullshit is Dally doing now.
Yeah, what's he? Oh, he's in another drinking room. Yes,
Yeah.
I am. Yeah, I am. Yeah, I do it a lot. It's funny because I specifically mention it because I know Ben Gilbert hates that I talk about. Clubhouse, so I throw it out there when I know that he's looking at Twitter.
Oh my
god! I'm like, oh shit, Ben's on there because he just tweeted something like a minute ago. I am on Clubhouse right now. Join me, and then he'll reply back with, "Dolly, you've got us." I know I've got it. With that, we'll see y'all. Love you all. Take care. Adios. Bye bye.
See ya.
Adios.